So honestly speaking, now that you've met me, spar with me, do you think I spar too hard? After all the videos you've seen me, do you think I'm that guy? Do you think I'm the one who instigates it?
Like, so we were like worried, you know what I mean? Because like you got a lot of horsepower. I don't have a lot of horsepower. I was like, man, I know Jeff's gonna want to spar. Like,
but my question is, I post the hard stuff, but very occasionally. If you only watch the hard sparring, then yes, it seems like I spar hard all the time. But I post so much technical sparring, way more.
So I know what I'm looking at when I watch your stuff. You know the biggest problem is it's got nothing to do with the sparring. It's your personality. Your personality doesn't come through in those moments, in those videos. You seem like this Terminator and this like when we did the video where we said it's
you guys saw the Hulk?
That was into the Hulk, and you're literally like the funniest, sweetest, like most genuine guy. Like he's like so personable. And then once I met your personality, it wasn't congruent with like I was scared. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get low kicked to fucking death. Like, oh my god, and you're like, no man, let's play around. Let's show me some of your tricks. And we did the trick, you know, like giving each other room to go.
You're also smaller than me, so you would assume that I would have control. And for me, I usually get into hard sparring sessions with bigger guys. And the issue with that is a lot of people don't understand it, but a guy who's significantly bigger, his 50% is probably like my 60, 70%. So if he hits me with 50%, it's unfair for me to do 50%. I have to go at least 60, 70%. I go up to 80% to make it fair. And when I go 80%, he goes up to 80%, and then now we're just fighting.
Yeah.
But people don't understand that.
When I was little, and people would try to play fight with me, you know, like, oh, you're trying to play fight. I was like, bro, I only have a couple speeds I can go at. Like, if you're trying to hold me down, like it was a bigger kid holding me down, or I was so little that I'm like, bro, if I want to get up, I gotta go crazy. Like, I can't just like, oh, get off me. So it's hard being the little guy, smaller guy in a sparring exchange, and picking that right intensity. If you have good sparring partners that know, when I go with Seth, I go harder at Seth than he goes at me. Because he's so much bigger, you know, he knows I'm whipping kicks in and doing stuff like that.
Faster.
Yeah.
Handsomer.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with partners who we have established a strong relationship. Like I have partners who are significantly bigger than me, like Fred Stonehouse, do you know him? He's a coach, ponytail, like super good. Like you should check him out, he's really good. When we spar, we go very fair. He's very good at like understanding that he's bigger than me. But usually with me, I go to different gyms and I meet new people for the first time. Not only do they see the camera, but they see the guy's filming the camera, he's a YouTuber. Yeah. I would be lying if I said I never instigated. I'm sure I've instigated, and maybe I took it too far. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I've never intentionally started. Because they are just bigger guys, and like I said, 50% with speed and their control is way more than my power. And I'll admit, I have a bit of an ego, and I get in trouble with my fiancée all the time.
What does she say? What does she say, like during the debrief, like after you sparred, when you guys get in the car, what does she say? Like
to a point where she, I mean, I'm not gonna bring her into. I admit I have a bit of an ego because if someone hits me hard, in my mind it's like I don't wanna like, hey man, you wanna like go easy on me, and I give them what I got. Of course I pick my battles. Like I'm honest with myself. If I went to Francis Ngannou's gym and then he started going hard on me, I'm not gonna amp it up and I'm gonna be like, yo, chill. But maybe that's someone my level or someone less experienced than me goes hard on me. I'm gonna fight.
So every time I go somewhere, like when I travel, people try to kill me all the time because I say a lot of things that rub a lot of people the wrong way. So when I'm visiting gyms, at least one person always tries to kill me, and I don't have near the horsepower that you got, and so. I have a couple moves I can do. I can kind of play possum. You got me. No, I can't keep up. I'm so sorry. Or if I think I can survive, I turn it up too. It's really hard to take for a grown ass man to tell another grown ass man, hey, can you go a little easier on me? You know, that's like literally the hardest thing in the world to do.
Especially as someone who has a bit of experience like I do.
And because you're like, hey, I can go harder if you want to go harder. But ultimately it's the coach's job, in my opinion. In my gym, it's my job, especially if you're visiting.
Yeah.
If you're visiting a gym and you and one of their guys start getting into it, you think the coach is going to go up to his guy and go, hey, take it easy on that guy. Take it easy. No. Yeah. Your target practice.
They want to win. You have a target on your back, especially if you're a YouTuber. There's two types. I go to a new gym because I go to lots of random gyms. It's either they don't know me and they're like, who's this YouTuber with a camera? Yeah. And he's trying to make a highlight reel of me. Or scenario two is they know me and they know me as the YouTuber who spars hard. People see me as this guy that spars hard, but what about the 70, 80% of sparring videos that are all technical and light and with smaller people?
So I'll ask you this. I can counter your question with a question.
Yeah.
So you know those comments you get where people are like, oh, like, F this guy, he spars so hard, oh, he's just beating up on people, he's a bully, gym bully, blah, 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 blah. What about the 90 to 95% of your comments that are like, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for helping me.
Oh yeah.
The negative is what sticks out to us.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm at the point now where negative comments don't faze me anymore. But they used to. They'll literally watch one video that happens to be hard sparring, and they saw that it's a hard sparring title. That's why they clicked it, and they're like, you only spar hard, and they don't click any of the other technical sparring videos.
Frustrating, but
It is frustrating, but you can't win with them. You can't win with them.
So what's hard with them is that like which videos are the ones that get the most views?
Hard sparring.
The hard sparring ones.
And I fully admit, I make videos for the views.
Yeah, I think what's hard about your situation is that you are so talented that no matter how amped up they get, like you can still win.
You still got another gear to go to.
If they continue to go harder and harder, for like me or for Mike, if somebody was like at your level, they would really only cap somewhere. At one point they would, probably like murder us.
Off topic though.
I don't think you're going. Go ahead.
After sparring, you do not give yourself enough credit. Like you move very well, especially for a 240 pounder.
Well, I'll take that.
Yeah, no. So, but anyways, back to what we were saying.
The rounds that you've sparred with guys.
Yeah.
You had a hard round with
Yeah.
somebody. Let's take for example the one that you broke down.
Yeah, I did the breakdown.
Yeah.
Were the rounds after that as hard?
He's actually known for someone who goes a little.
Yeah.
He likes to brawl.
Lots
He likes
of
to brawl.
people have lots
Yeah,
of
yeah.
people have those.
That specific guy, he actually has that tendency.
So typically with guys that you hard spar with, both guys are really easy to get a hard spar out of. I've got lots of guys who I spar a specific type of way because I typically don't want a hard spar, and I'll play with them a different way. For me, being a guy who does move fast for my weight, I get hit hard a lot because people think in order to hit me, they have to throw hard, and then I get hit hard, and I'm like,
I guess I'm expecting these bigger sparring partners to have the same control as I do. That's about the skill level. The one video that I see Mike actually broke down, he's a recreational and he doesn't have the control.
Right.
And I guess that's where like my ego
I was gonna
steps
say,
in. That's where
in my opinion, that's where you have to take a touch more ownership of it.
Yeah.
Because you have the ability to press the brakes and still be winning. They don't have that ability. They're like, I'm gonna go as hard as I can, and it's probably still not gonna work.
See that's what I'm working on, and I'll fully admit that I have a bit of an ego, but I also don't have ego. I don't have ego
Yeah.
in the sense that I don't care if someone beats me up.
Yeah.
Outclasses me. Like I don't
Right.
care. And I show that all the time.
Sure.
But I have an ego when it comes to like, okay, this guy hit me hard.
It's hitting me hard.
Yeah.
It's the disrespect.
Yeah, the
I
disrespect.
totally understand that. That's totally fair.
So where the ego comes in, you have a really interesting relationship with your ego, and I've met a lot of dudes where there are a lot of different places in their journey about killing their own ego.
I feel like ego is a pretty strong word.
I'm using ego
Like,
in the
this-
clinical sense,
in-
not
okay.
like, oh, I have an ego. Your ego. Everyone
Yeah.
has an ego. You have a very unique relationship with your ego because some guys have killed it. They've really like wrangled it down. I feel very good about where I'm at with my ego. Sometimes things bother me, like, man, I never fought pro, and I think maybe if I'd been a little more disciplined, I could have. But it's fine. I'm like short little dad bod, I care about my guys. I don't care, like they can beat me up. I was telling you earlier, when I can coach my guys into beating me, I feel great. I'm like, yeah, okay, you got me. But there's still part of me that's like, man, they got me. It's still there. And then I've got guys who have no control of their ego. You have an extremely unique relationship with your ego in that you're like, it's fine. There's guys out there that can beat me up. I'm not the greatest. I don't know that I'll ever be the greatest of all time. You don't think like that. Like a lot of even fighters who have no business thinking like you like know your role, or you like know what your lane is. You know who you very much know who you are. But then you still have a little bit of problems with it, but you know about it. Like a lot of guys don't have that.
I think it's that little fight inside me. I'm pretty much retired right now. Like if you know my history with my championship and whatever, there's times where like I do want to fight.
The itch.
But then obviously there's the whole other half where I'm like, I'm super happy I'm not fighting. There's always these guys that'll be like, why don't you go fight instead of doing these hard sparring sessions? Do you know how much more hard sparring sessions I need to go through if I was in fight camp?
It'll get worse before it gets better.
Do you know how much more risk I have to take when I'm in fight camp? Do you know how much less income I have to? It's
Yeah.
literally a pay cut when I take a fight.
Yeah, you'll lose money, time, energy. It stresses your relationships with your family. Like taking a fight and just training very hard, it's barely even related.
This goes back to, do I really spar hard often? Just because you watch 3 videos within a span of 5 months, if you're in fight camp, you're sparring hard like 3 times a week with really good guys, and you're like pushing yourself. So even if you're hurt, you're injured, you're still going at it because you're training for a fight. People don't understand that.
I met you 3 days ago, sparred for the first time last night, and I was a little nervous. I was very nervous. I was extremely fucking nervous.
I don't know if you guys caught this, But the very first thing that I do is I threw a side kick, and you didn't move the way I thought you did. It snuck in a bit harder than I meant for a 2, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm so sorry.
You totally expected this isn't gonna land. He's gonna go around it.
That's what I thought.
So I was extremely nervous because I'm old. I'm not a pro. I don't have any aspirations of ever turning pro. I like to play. I like to trick, and I like to exchange, you know what I mean? And the first one of your good darting crosses came out, and it touched my nose. And I was like, okay, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'm pretty good at range management. Yeah, he ain't caught me yet. And then the second one touched my nose, and I was like, oh no, he can't fucking find me. And the third one touched my nose, and I was like, oh, he's 3 for 3, just barely missing. And then the fourth one touched my nose. I was like, oh fuck, oh fuck, he's got me. He's like, whoop, got your nose. Whoop. And then I was like, no, this is an amazing amount of control. And you know what it is? You are a ghost. You are gone. Like a spar is an exchange. It's right there in the word. You're gonna try some shit. I'm gonna try some shit. We'll see what happens by the end. There were several frustrating moments where I was trying to hit you with my good shit and you were gone. That can be frustrating. If I were 10 years younger, hadn't done all the work I've done on getting my ego down, I'm like, bro, no, I ain't no slouch. Let me show this guy what's up. I'm gonna go a little faster next time.
Natural.
I would've got myself hurt by trying to like go horsepower for horsepower.
Random topic, but I feel like, obviously you're older than me as well, but I need to mature as a coach in your way. So if I have a student and I'm trying to coach him, I need to be better than him.
No, man.
For me, I'm thinking like, how about if he beats me in sparring? In my head, I'm like, how do I be his coach? But then I do know that, say UFC fighters, they all have coaches, and they're obviously way better than their coaches in the UFC. And for me, I still can't. For them to respect me, I need to be better than them.
It's because you're half in.
Yeah, so
Like you're half. You are a fighter.
fighters don't make the best coaches. You know this. You told me this. Fighters don't make the best coaches because you have to decide which one are you. If you're a fighter, you need to have a certain amount of ego. You need to have a certain
Like a winning drive.
To be a successful fighter, you have to be. There has to be a lot of problems. Like you can't have a. This is controversial. If you have an extremely healthy, low ego, low drive mindset, you're not going to be a world champion. You have to be kind of crazy to be a world champion.
100%.
So if you're a coach, and so here's where my ego comes from. When my guy gets his hand raised, or they wrap a belt around my guy's waist. So if you want to be a coach, and your students can't beat you up, you suck. You suck as a coach.
That is true.
So if you want to be the greatest, best at the thing you're doing, which right now is instructing and coaching and teaching, you should be able to take a guy. It's like, I want my son to have more money than me and have more success than me. You need your fighters to be faster, stronger, smarter, better fight IQ. Take every tool you have and every tool the other coaches in the gym have. If you want to be the best, they have to beat you. It feels good as hell. And you know the cool part about coaching is? I drink beer the night before the fight. I can stay up till 2 a.m. and I watch and I can be just as happy. I get the same amount when they get their hand raised. I actually feel better than when I used to fight. I realized it didn't bother me when I lost. Like I didn't care. And I was like, oh man, maybe this isn't for me. And also, I wasn't excited when I won either. I felt nothing. I was just glad it was over. I didn't feel any glory. I didn't feel any. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. It hurts and it sucks and it's tiring and I'm hungry.
I never planned on being a professional fighter. I always tell myself I'm just a martial artist. Joined when I was 15 because a friend brought me in and I just started training for fun. And it was my coach that kind of like pushed me and was like, you should fight, like don't waste your talent. And then I was like, okay, and I'll take a fight and fight and fight. Even after all that, like I never planned on being pro. I was just a martial artist, and when you're in it long enough and people tell you you're good, like I'm telling you you're good. I'm sure right now you're like, fuck, maybe I should do it. And that's the way I thought too. My coach would tell me that I'm good and I'm like, okay, I take the fight. My issue is I have some experience. I do believe I'm good, but I don't believe I'm even capable of being the best in the world. I'm in the middle. I enjoy coaching, so like I'm trying to do it all together. But you can't be the best coach if you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Be the best fighter if you don't put your.
When did your YouTube channel really start working out for you really well? When you went all in.
When I went all in.
You said I'm a YouTuber. I'm gonna go hard on YouTube. Boom! It blew up. Your ability to break down details and your strict adherence to you do this. If you do this, this will happen. You know, like you really understand the details of the footwork. When I put my foot here, it's because of the number of reps you have. And you're sparring, you're fighting, inform that. I put my foot here, I can go this way. I put my foot here, I can go this way. Like I have all these options, and you don't like getting hit. You can keep guys really safe. You could serve the next generation of fighters as a coach. And I think with your attention to detail and your experience and your personality, you could be the best at that.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Listening to you, so as you coached Rokas yesterday, talking about Aikido, I think that was the moment. I was like, I looked at Mike and I was like, I would learn from him.
You did the video with Rokas, and it was a totally foreign, you don't do any of that stuff he was doing. And then immediately extrapolated, you felt it and you moved and you kind of let him work. And then immediately extrapolated, oh, if you did this, then boom, leveled him up right away. In a martial art that you don't have any expertise in. Think about the things that you are an expert in. You can pump out savages who are not only great fighters, also safe. Their brains are safe. Your style keeps people's heads safe. You could definitely be the best.
So will I stop sparring hard?
No, absolutely not. We're still gonna fuck that for the views, man.
The view. You know what? Let's go, guys. Let's go.